You're listening to the Body Contouring Academy's Proven Profits podcast. Your source for non-invasive body contouring. Here we reveal the blueprint to generate more revenue and realize the profits you want. Stay tuned to hear insightful interviews from industry experts and successful business owners on what strategies they use to grow their body contouring practice. Hi everyone, Kay and Shannon here. We have such an informative and exciting topic today. We're going to be talking about a device called Cryoskin. And not only is it a great fat-reducing device, you don't need a physician to get your hands on one, and it's easy to do so too. So listen in while Delaney Allen Mills fills us in on all the scoop.
Sure thing. Yeah, so first just a little bit about myself and Artemis. So as an introduction, my name is Delaney Allen Mills. I'm the Director of Partner Training and Quality at Artemis Distribution. Artemis is the distributor of both Cryoskin, which we're going to be speaking on today, and Endosphere, which there will be an episode coming out speaking about that device as well. And we are soon to be adding a third device that's currently in pilot phase called the Plaston. So we really do aim to be a partner in aesthetics and wellness. We're distribution specialists of professional equipment for both medical and beauty spas. And our mission as a company is to build a community of successful entrepreneurs who really empower their clients to be confident in their own skin. And Cryoskin is just the absolute embodiment of that mission. So I'm really excited to be on this podcast with you all today. A little bit about the Cryoskin product. There's actually two versions of the Cryoskin product within our line. There's the Cryoskin 3.0, which offers just manual treatments, meaning applied via a massage technique with a manual wand applicator. And we also have the Cryoskin 4.0 device, which has all the capabilities of the 3.0 regarding the manual wand, but has the addition of hands-free static application as well. So really, really fantastic there, and I'll get into all the nooks and crannies of the different treatment offerings we have available with both devices. So as far as indications, I know that's what you had asked first. Cryoskin is great for, a variety of different aesthetic concerns. So we really like to talk about it in terms of the different types of treatments that we offer. So within the Cryoskin 3.0, as I mentioned, it is purely manual treatments, and we have two main treatment types. We have the cryo slimming treatments, which are targeted for localized fat loss. And we also have the cryo toning treatments, of which the cryofacial falls under that category, which are more geared towards collagen, elasticity, helping to tighten and firm the skin. So those are our two main treatment types. So really any client that is coming into your doors looking for those types of treatments, Cryoskin would be a great option for them.
That's great, that versatility that it has.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with the Cryoskin 4.0, as well as I mentioned, in addition to those manual treatment offerings, so we have, like I said, the cryo slimming and the cryo toning and cryofacial, we also have a suite of static applications, which are hands-free treatments. So essentially, the technician is able to set the client up and leave the room for the duration of the treatment. We have cryo slimming available with those static heads as well, but we also have the added benefit of having two additional treatment offerings, which is our cryo cellulite treatment, which is focused more so on reducing the appearance of more fibrous cellulite, so think kind of orange peel, and also our cryo drainage treatment, which is focused on sort of helping to improve lymphatic drainage. And all static treatments on the 4.0 additionally can employ an optional e-stim for increased lymphatic drainage using electrode pads. So that is just an extra kind of health and wellness benefit that comes with that device as well.
And that's limited to the 4.0, is that correct, Delaney?
That is with the 4.0, yes, absolutely.
Well, perfect. Boy, they both sound great. What areas of the body are typically treated?
Absolutely. So for the cryo slimming service, which again is that localized fat loss service, typically we see abdomen as being that real hero treatment. We see that most often, but the cryo slimming can really be used on so many different areas of the body. You can use on the abdomen, as I mentioned, the love handles, inner thighs, outer thighs, under the bum. We can also apply it to the back bra line area if you have clients concerned around that area, arm slimming, double chin slimming, even the fat above the knees. So essentially, anywhere that you can, quote, pinch an inch, that's something that typically we can use. The only limitation there is, of course, we make sure to avoid any glandular areas. So we do not perform cryo slimming over the breasts in either men or women. However, the cryotoning is such a fabulous treatment offering for those areas because it can really help to tighten, lift, and firm those areas. So it can be really helpful for clients coming in with those concerns regardless.
Okay. Wow. And how many treatments would be needed? And what's the typical protocol?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really depends on the treatment type. So I'll start off with the cryo slimming. Typically when clients are coming in to us for cryo slimming, we would recommend a series of 5 treatments, and those are going to be performed 2 weeks apart. The reason for that is that cryo slimming is passing the fat cells actually physically out of the body. So a little bit about the mechanism of action for the cryo slimming is that essentially what we are producing is, a full apoptosis in those fat cells. So we are actually destroying the fat cells and moving them through the body naturally via the lymphatic system. So the reason for that 2-week waiting period is we need to have enough time within the lymphatic cycle to actually get that cellular debris passed out of the body, which is mostly coming out through urine, sweat, breath, and regular bowel movement. That way, we really see our best results because the clients are actually passing through that debris that is, causing that aesthetic appearance of fat. Then we do recommend, again, like I said, those 5 sessions. That is based on our clinical study, has shown to produce the best results in most clients, although some clients might require closer to 10 sessions depending on what they're coming in with. So their cryoskin technician will perform a consultation from the very beginning. For all Artemis partners, we provide extensive training on that as well, so they will be well prepared. For cryotoning and cryofacial, a little bit different because there's no lymphatic impact with those treatments. Those services are very much focused on the more superficial layers of the skin. And so those treatments can actually be performed a little bit more frequently. So typically we go off of the severity of the client's concern as well as the client's age. So we typically say that if a client is under 45 or their concerns are not quite as severe, we would ask them to come in once a week for a minimum of 5 treatments. So it's about a 5-week treatment process for cryotoning on the body or the cryofacial. However, if they are over 45 or are dealing with some more severe concerns around sagging or looseness of skin, lack of elasticity, we would ask them to come in twice a week for the first 5 sessions minimum, but typically would recommend a few more treatments, so potentially a package of 10.
I think that's really big with cryo slimming, that it actually destroys the fat cells and eliminates them from the body. So I guess that's a permanent fat reduction.
Absolutely. And the only caveat there is that we really do depend on the clients themselves to maintain a really balanced diet and lifestyle. That's the only way they're going to see the best results. Of course, as with any non-invasive body contouring modality, it's so important that they, really do maintain that balance. And we at Artemis are no proponents of any kind of crash dieting or anything extreme, but everything in moderation. And just understanding the way that the body is working. Of course, we're passing fat cells out of the body. However, fat cells will always remain and will expand depending on lifestyle choices, if that's the case. So, really, I always urge my clients coming in, the clients that I've had in the past as a technician, I've always been very adamant with them about, maintaining that balance because they're making an investment in themselves and their journey, as well as, a financial investment, of course. So I want to make sure that they get the best possible results.
That's right. I know all the years that we've been in practice in in the body contouring world, there's those occasional patients who kind of think, well, I'm doing this treatment, so now I can just kind of do what I want. And that education that you're talking about that you did for your clients is so important.
Absolutely. I mean, I have probably 25,000 stories of clients that have come back to me and said, I'm doing everything right, and then I'll ask them, well, how much water are you drinking in a day? Because, fluid intake is really important with the cryoswimming treatments to really make sure that cellular debris is passing out of the system via the urine. And I had a client once tell me, no, I don't drink water. I just drink Diet Coke. And so that was just, this sort of perfect paradox of, that level of sugar intake really being disruptive and also not enough fluid coming in so that she could actually pass that debris out. So, that's something we focus on very heavily in our training. We have a lot of resources around it. We've got a lot of collateral to share with all of our partners. So, that client education piece is something we definitely emphasize really heavily at Artemis as well.
That's great. Well, tell us a little bit more about the training program.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we have 16 Artemis training centers across the United States. Those training centers do offer in-person trainings on a rolling basis, and those trainings are free of charge for all Artemis partners. We have two options for new prospects that might be looking to add Artemis products to their business. So we do have a purchase option, of course, where you're able to purchase the device outright if you are really keen and you're ready to get going and to own your device. We have that purchase option available. With that purchase option comes one free on-site training. So we send a master trainer out to your facility, included within your purchase cost. We also have which is what I think makes Artemis so unique, a subscription option. So it's a no-risk 30-day free trial, no minimum term. So if you're not really sure about Cryoskin, you want to kind of see how your clients respond, see how the marketing goes, what that ROI looks like, you can opt for a subscription. And we have subscription available for both the Cryoskin 3.0 and 4.0. And also within that subscription, we have a buyout option at any time, and 50% of your subscription payments are applied to that buyout. For subscription partners, we offer, as I mentioned, training free of charge at our 16 training centers across the U.S. There's also a payable on-site training request option should you wish to go that route. Our training and certification are performed through a hybrid certification process. So we have an extensive online training course, which covers everything and anything foundational that you need to know in order to just be the most prepared when you come to your in-person hands-on training, which is primarily focused on the application of technique.
I know that is such a good program that you have, both the offer of the subscription and the training that you offer. Anyone who's like us who've been in the business, we recognize just how great of a program that is.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And it's something that we are continuing to grow. One of our values at Artemis is keep improving. And so we are constantly gathering feedback from our install base, our community of partners. We're at 1,500 partners and growing every day. So there's an amazing community that as an Artemis partner you have access to. So you're able to share tips and tricks with other partners that are offering Cryoskin. You're able to ask for advice. You're able to sort of mingle and be a part of that. And I think that's also a really powerful thing, particularly right now where, maybe connection with others is not something that we've had such ready access to that we've, in the past couple of years. So it's definitely, a fantastic opportunity and something that we're continuing to add to. We also do have monthly webinars. So we have different presenters typically on every webinar speaking from, on any topic related to the Cryoskin. So we have business, we have marketing, we have training, we have technique, we have consultation, and those run every month as well, and those recordings are posted in our partner resource base. So there is a lot available to our Artemis partners to really ensure their optimal success with the device.
That's wonderful. We know that there's a lot of listeners who are spa owners or maybe body contouring business wannabes, they're aspiring to be, and we just have a variety of listeners, including medical people. But one thing we wanted to ask is a physician needed to purchase this device or to have a subscription for it?
That's such a fabulous question. And luckily the answer is no, actually a physician is not needed. And so many of our partners are non-physicians. So it is, it does lower that barrier to entry to be able to really benefit from this incredible device. But no, a physician is not required in order to purchase or subscribe.
That's awesome news for so many people. So, what is a treatment experience like for the client and the treatment time? And you already explained the protocol and how many, but could you kind of explain the experience for the client undergoing the treatment?
Sure thing, absolutely. So it is going to vary slightly depending on whether we're applying a manual treatment or a static treatment. So for the manual treatment, it's very much like a massage technique. So for the cryo slimming, that's going to be a bit of a colder massage, right? Because we do need to cool the fat cells down to the point where they can no longer sustain life and therefore pass through the apoptosis process. So for clients that are receiving the cryo slimming treatment, I like to think of it as a deep tissue ice massage. Shouldn't be too uncomfortable. Most clients find it, completely bearable. I've had many clients fall asleep on the table during treatments. It's definitely something that is, very pain-free. You sort of are moving around the localized area and creating folds in the skin, which is helping us to actually access that subcutaneous layer of the fat cells. However, the cryotoning is much more, sort of relaxed and straightforward. It is very much a repetition of upward strokes in the treatment area with the technician's hand that is following to produce warmth. So it's this alternation of cold from the wand and warmth from the practitioner's hand, which is actually producing the physiological effects of the toning and the facial. So that's helping to increase that microcirculation, helping to firm up the skin, stimulate collagen and elastin. So the experience for the client, particularly with those manual treatments, is actually extremely relaxing. For the cryofacial, I really liken it to the cold jade rollers, if you've ever done a cold jade roller, but with the benefit that it stays cold. So if you've ever done a cold jade roller, you know that either, it loses its cool very quickly. Similarly to rubbing ice on your face, I get this question all the time, is the cryofacial the same as rubbing the ice on your face? The answer is no, and it's a lot less messy. So not quite as much dripping water all over you after a cryofacial, luckily. With the static treatments, it's slightly different, obviously, because the client is being, strapped in with these 4 static heads. Again, not uncomfortable. It's just simply a different experience. And they also have the addition of the eStim electrode pads as an option. So if they are using the eStim electrode pads, those are attached to the calves, helping to stimulate lymphatic drainage. If they've ever had eStim at their PT before, it feels exactly like that. It's just a bit of a tingling in the calves, a stimulation of those muscles. So it's electrical muscle stimulation.
Well, that feels like it's very tolerable, if not enjoyable, for the clients. Are there any risks involved with the procedure?
That's also a great question, and the risks are very minimal, if anything. So typically what we're looking at in those cases are, and a lot of this is going to be pre-screened, of course. We have our sample intake forms that we provide to all of our partners that list the full list of contraindications and considerations for the treatment. really what we're looking at in terms of side effects are the same side effects you would be looking at for any cold-based therapy. So, we are looking at some redness, we're looking at potential itchiness, we're looking at, possibly raised skin if they are very sensitive to the cold. Other than that, just sort of normal things like increased urination, potentially increase in regular bowel movements, just as the lymphatic system is moving that debris out of their body. Other than that, there's really no additional risks, and there's also no downtime with these treatments. So we like to call them a lunch break treatment. You can come in, go out, and no one would know that you had one done unless you got your face done, of course, in which case everyone is going to ask you what you've done. That's sort of the amazing thing about the cryofacial is that it has an instant effect, and it literally looks like you have woken up from a 10-year nap right after you get the treatment done. It's incredible.
You can just go back to work and make everybody envious.
Yes, exactly. I would highly recommend.
So do you recommend maintenance treatments? Like, do they go through a series of treatments and then do you recommend maintenance, or how long do the results last?
Yeah, that's a fabulous question. So it, again, will vary depending on the treatment type. So for cryoslimming, once they've gone through their package of 5, I typically do recommend that they come back for maintenance, although the maintenance is fairly far out if they're maintaining. So as long as they're maintaining, their maintenance is going to be, a couple of treatments, maybe every 6 months. Or of course, if they, go on a fabulous Italian holiday and eat a lot of, a lot of bread and a lot of cheese and drink a lot of wine and don't do a whole lot of exercise, they might want to come back earlier than that, just depending on what their lifestyle is. Or, potentially they could have a real significant lifestyle change, like, potentially a pregnancy or, something to that effect that will kind of shift their body makeup as well. With the cryotoning and the cryofacial, that one, of course, unfortunately, genetics and age are something that a cryoskin cannot, unfortunately, change, as much to our, dismay. Unfortunately, no devices can change those two factors. So we do recommend more consistent maintenance after that series. So, for example, for a cryofacial, you would start with your series of 5 on that more regular cadence. Clients typically will decide how often they'd like to come back. I know some clients that come in once a week, sort of in perpetuity, because they just absolutely adore the results, but more so they adore the actual treatment itself. They find it a really enjoyable thing to receive. However, I typically recommend even maintenance, once or twice every couple of months. Again, that'll really just depend on age and severity of concerns. For body toning, you can space that out even further. So for body cryotoning, once every 2 to 3 months is typically going to be a great form of maintenance. Will just depend on the individual person, and the cryoskin practitioner can advise on the best one for them.
Yeah, that all makes total sense.
So if let's say an office or a spa is looking to introduce this technology and they have different other devices, how would that complement the other devices? How would it fit in?
Absolutely. This is such a fabulous question as well. So we have actually a full sheet that we provide to all of our partners that covers all of the sort of integrations of Cryoskin and other services. So it really does depend on the service, but 9 times out of 10, Cryoskin is going to be highly complementary to most of the common modalities that are currently offered. Especially if the businesses have some type of a lymphatic drainage modality, the ability to package that out. And of course, we're going to speak on Endosphere in a future episode, but that is our sort of lymphatic drainage device. And that is particularly powerful when complemented with cryoskin treatments because it helps to accelerate that action of the fat cell debris out of the body, which helps to improve those treatment outcomes. However, it's also highly complementary with other treatment offerings in the aesthetic space. So I would highly recommend, the integration of, for example, the Cryoskin facial with hydrofacial. Again, not necessarily in the same treatment, not necessarily in the same session, but certainly packaged out with the appropriate wait time, it can be a really, really fantastic complement to another aesthetic package.
Great. Are there any consumables?
Yes, so there is only, luckily, for those that are, in the aesthetic space, which I'm assuming most listeners are, luckily there is one main consumable cost with the Cryoskin, which is the Cryoskin gel. The Cryoskin gel is so essential. So every treatment is going to utilize that gel because it is what is preventing crystallization or burning of the client's skin, and it allows for that glide and that mechanism of action with either the manual wand and additionally with the static wands. The Cryoskin gel is the only gel that is approved to use with the device because it has been specifically formulated for this treatment and to reach those target temperatures without issue. So that gel, depending on the type of partner you are, so whether you are on subscription partners do receive a set number of gels per month within their subscription payment, within their subscription plan. They can also purchase additional gel should they need it. For purchase partners, they get 4 gels included within their purchase, and then they are able to also purchase additional gels through our Artemis store, and that is contained within our partner portal that they'll have access to as an Artemis partner as well. Typically, a bottle of gel, a liter of gel, should last about 60 to 70 treatments. So it is actually quite a cost-effective consumable, especially comparatively with other modalities on the market.
That is for sure. Yes. That is for sure. Gosh, I mean, there's so many advantages to this device, either the 3.0 or the 4.0. Did we not ask something that our listeners might want to hear? Can you think of anything, Delaney?
I think as far as, expected results, I think that's something we can definitely touch on. I think we've covered a lot of ground already. But I do think that as far as expected results, our clinical study did show a 19% average reduction in the subcutaneous fat layer of those treated. Which is quite significant comparatively across the market with other fat loss devices. So the ability to achieve that with a non-invasive device that does have this subscription and or purchase offering, the ROI for our partners is typically very, very high on this product. From an end client perspective, I mean, I could speak for hours on our clients' experiences, on the stories that I've had. I have had people cry on the table at their results because they finally feel good about themselves in a bathing suit and when they're getting changed. And, it is such a powerful treatment to be able to offer with, very, very low risk to your clients. So, especially if you are somebody that is looking to offer more non-invasive options, it is definitely the choice for non-invasive fat loss.
Sounds like a great choice.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that wraps it up. I do have one question. If
sure.
You had the 3.0 and you wanted to upgrade to a 4.0, can you upgrade that, or is it a whole different device, or how does that work?
Absolutely. So there is absolutely the possibility to upgrade. If you currently have a Cryoskin 3.0 and you would like to upgrade to the 4.0, there's absolutely that option. It is a different device, but essentially you will just pack up your 3.0, you'll ship it back, and then we'll ship you out a 4.0. But we do ship out the 4.0 to minimize that downtime. So we typically arrange for that swap out very seamlessly. And the great thing is that we've actually just rolled out a new training delivery model for the 4.0. So now if you are a certified Cryoskin 3.0 technician or your staff are certified Cryoskin 3.0 technicians, they will only need to complete an online course module in order to upgrade their certification to 4.0. And so it minimizes any kind of travel costs or costs of training. They'll just need to complete that online module. So it really helps to drive that ease of upgrade.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And is there what's the recommended pricing
For the treatment?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, for the treatments? Yeah, absolutely. So recommended pricing for the treatments. For body treatments, we typically recommend pricing at $350 for a single session and $1,500 for a 5-pack. Our price floor is $250 for body treatments. So, we typically don't recommend pricing any lower than that. That is our floor. For the cryofacial treatments, we typically recommend pricing at $250. Although you can go down a little bit. Again, we always recommend adding value versus discount. But typically that's the recommended pricing, and all of that would be included within your Artemis partner package as well. So we have a new partner package which, contains everything and anything you would need to launch Cryoskin successfully at your business.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like this opportunity to make some serious revenue with this device. And it's so exciting that you don't need a physician, that you can get really great results for your for your clients without needing a physician, and having an affordable subscription plan to afford that device is fantastic. So we were super excited to talk to you today. And
I was so excited to speak to you all as well.
Thank you so much, Delaney, and we will talk to you again on our next show. And stay tuned for
we're excited to hear about endospheres. Now, after hearing about
I cannot wait to share with you all. So for those listening, make sure to tune into the endosphere episode as well, because it is such a highly complementary treatment for the Cryoskin device. We have some partners doing amazing things with the combination. The results are out of this world, so definitely tune in to the next episode as well.
Perfect.
For sure. Thank you, Delaney.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Speak soon. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed the show, please find us on iTunes and leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at bodycontouring.academy, and you can always find us on Facebook too. Please email us at info@bodycontouringacademy.com with any feedback, topic suggestions, or to offer to tell your body contouring success story.
Thanks so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week, and as always, and until next time, beautiful wishes.